Unit 4. Listening Part 2. Exercise 3.
Hi, well, as you know, I've been doing a project on cooperatives, their history and what they're like today. Although farmers and people have always worked together from prehistory onwards, what we know today as cooperatives really got going during the Industrial Revolution. They were frequently started by workers in situations where perhaps their companies were exploiting them or mistreating them in some way, and they were seen as a way of providing protection for employees. The first one to really last and make a go of things was set up in a town in the north of England, Rochdale, about 170 years ago. The local textile workers had gone on strike, but then their employer, who ran the local shop, the company shop, retaliated by refusing to sell them food. Rather than starve, they started a cooperative food store whose purpose was to provide basic foodstuffs just so people could survive. The employer in question then went a step further by refusing to sell gas to the striking employees. So, because they had no light, the cooperative started selling candles as well, even though that hadn't been part of their original plan. Well, from those conflictive origins, the movement was born, and there are still cooperatives around today, ones which have been around for more than 100 years, running whole groups of shops in a region or over the whole country, or offering banking and insurance. There are also ones which have been started very recently and are involved in all sorts of new technologies such as wind farms or designing internet sites and the like. So, what is a cooperative exactly? Well, they're regulated by law and are run as competitive businesses. They, of course, have to compete with conventional commercial businesses, the difference being that instead of having shareholders, they have members, and these people can be almost anyone. They may be residents in the case of a housing cooperative, or customers, perhaps if it's a chain of stores, as well as members of staff, anyone really who might benefit from the existence of the cooperative. Any money the cooperative makes can be shared out between members if they so wish, because when it comes to determining what the cooperative should do in any given situation, everyone has an equal say. So, what makes them different from commercial businesses? Well, for many people, the strong attraction which sets them apart and is really boosting their popularity at the moment is that they follow a tough ethical code. Cooperatives believe they should go about things in a different way from conventional companies, and this means that, for example, a financial cooperative, like the cooperative bank, won't put money into a company whose activities it disapproves of. You know, a company involved in selling weapons to dodgy regimes, or one which might be contributing to global warming by being a fossil fuel producer, that sort of thing. All in all, the cooperative movement offers an alternative to people who are disenchanted with conventional business models and a way forward for people who want to bring real change to the world. Thank you.
Unit 4. Speaking Part 4. Exercise 6.
Danielle, many people dream of being able to work from home. What do you think are the advantages and disadvantages of working from home?
Well, let me think. Yes, I think I'd say that for most people there are a number of positive features. The most important one, perhaps, is that you don't waste time commuting, which can be quite stressful, especially if your train's late or you can't find a parking space, and that you work in your own time and at your own pace. Also, you don't have to dress smartly to go to work, which for me would be a definite plus. On the downside, it might be quite difficult to, to disconnect from your job because your office is at home, so you're always checking your emails. Although I think that's a problem people have even if they work in an office. Their email follows them everywhere.
Laura, do you agree with Danielle?
Yes, although for people with small children, the biggest advantage is that they can combine working life with family life. I mean, they don't have to give up work when they start a family.
Laura, which do you think is more important in a job? Friendly colleagues or a good salary?
Oh, I think both are essential. Unless there's a good atmosphere in the workplace, people soon lose motivation or lose interest, and this affects the quality of their work. Also, employees need to feel valued, and in the end, this comes down to how much they're paid. If they're not well paid for the job they do, they'll feel that their work's not respected.
And Danielle, what do you think?
Well, I'm not sure, because I think for me, the most important thing is to feel that you're doing something useful, achieving something worthwhile in your job. If people have that impression, then they're not so worried about their pay, and they can get their social life in their free time. I'd say it's more important to be efficient than friendly.
Danielle, many people complain about their managers. What qualities would you look for in a perfect manager, and why?
I think he or she has to be a good communicator who tells you what's going on and is also pleasant to work with. He or she should be someone who gives you a reasonable workload and provides you with the support you need to do your job well, and also someone who recognizes when you're working hard and gives you praise when you deserve it.
Oh, I wish my boss was like that.